Gone are the days of just getting visible for the sake of getting visible. The entrepreneurs that are being so successful are the ones that are seeking visibility opportunities with a deep purpose behind it, whether that's reach, impact, but of course, and that's why we're here today, leads. So today we're talking about getting visible and how to use those visibility opportunities to get leads, to get business. And what I love the most about this idea is that the more leads you get, the more business you get, the more you're able to help the people that you are meant to serve. So it is actually really inspiring to go and get out, get your message out, and connect with the people you're supposed to connect. So stay tuned. You're really going to love this episode. Very strategic and very tactical.
Do you want to be seen as the go-to in your industry, get more sales, easily attract new opportunities, but feel overlooked online? If so, you are in the right place. Hey, I'm Eugenia, but you can call me E. I'm a marketing strategist, a wife, and a new mom. I learned the secret of how to be seen as an authority and have people think of you for new opportunities and more clients. If you're ready to get clear on what makes your personal brand unique, build a magnetic presence online, and get more eyes on your business, this is your next move.
So what actually happens in a brand positioning audit? Let me pull back the curtain for a little bit. We first start our session by getting grounded in your vision because an audit is not the same for everyone. It has to be grounded into what's important to you, the things you are prioritizing, and the goals you want to reach. And that's exactly why we are here in this episode today, right? You talk, I listen. I want to understand what being seen as a leader means for you. What are you trying to accomplish? Whether that's dream clients, whether that's unlocking speaking gigs, press features, or just finally feeling recognized and feeling like you're having the types of conversations that honor the depth and expertise and leadership that you're bringing to the table. After that, we're going to identify and dig into the disconnect. I'm going to walk you through the specific gaps between your brilliance and how it's landing online. Usually there are 4 gaps, and the things that are lacking are in those 4 categories. So we're going to walk through each of those categories. What are the most pressing issues inside each category, and what are things that we can even start tackling in the session so you can leave the session not only with a clear action plan on what to do, what steps to take, but also with the first steps already taken. It's this concept of doing homework in class. I love that concept because it's so helpful. It really helps you move forward and gain so much more momentum. So at the end of our session, you're going to have that clarity. We are going to have the initial steps. And 2 days later, you are going to receive a recap of everything we've discussed with a long video walking you through every single little detail. So we get refreshed, you get reminded, and then you have your action plan, things to focus on for the next days. You can get everything done on that list literally for 7 days. And the best part is for right now, I'm offering async support. So you can send me your materials for review. I'll give you feedback and you're going to see wins within a week. My best clients, the ones that really take action after that week, are the ones that are already creating content just with the things we discussed. They have a whole month of content ideas just because of that session. So I want to see you there. I want to see you having the plan, having the clarity, having the momentum to really go after the visibility that you want, after the clients that you want. I have zero doubt that you can get there with the right support. If you want to close the gap between who you are, what you offer, and how you are perceived, then go to eugeniawoo.com/brand. That's eugeniawoo.com/BRAND and book your call, book your session. Let's make sure that the right people actually see that thing that makes you so unique, so amazing. And if you still don't even know how to articulate it, please get on the call. Let's get on the Zoom. Let's figure it out. Let's map it out and let's get you moving. I'm excited to work with you. Getting visible for leads, it's not just a matter of showing up once like a shooting star and then having or expecting everyone to want to work with you. You need to be seen with purpose, clarity, and another element that we are discussing today. And I just had a great example. Miss Universe just happened. I'm a huge beauty pageant fan. Okay, Miss Universe is going through a rough patch. There's a lot of scandal. But the concept of beauty pageants, the way they empower women, the way you really have to work on your self-discovery, get and become your best self, I just really love them. I love what they represent for women. So I follow them all the time. And with my experience and my expertise following beauty pageants for so long, I've noticed that the girls that always stand out are the ones that not only have a great competition the night of, like a great catwalk the night of, are the girls that throughout the whole concentration, that's what it's called when they are together for a week, 20 days, depending on the pageant, they are consistent in the way they're showing up, how they're treating people, how, their looks, their energy, just being true to who they are. And then that is combined with the catwalk, with, the looks and the dress and everything the night of. And that's super important. But if you don't have those elements of consistency before and just repetition of people seeing you, no one's going to have you top of mind and have you as an actual option for the crown. So you might not be a beauty pageant fan like I am, but I'm sure that you have a message that you want to impact people with. And in that way, we can take lessons from beauty pageants. And don't worry, I'm not going to extend or stretch this beauty pageant metaphor. Of course not. But I do want to pull something from it, which is the power of repetition, especially when it comes to your visibility. So being visible for leads means that people have to see you. They have to be clear on what you stand for. They have to be clear on your brand and make sure that that brand matches what you say you are standing for, making sure that you are consistent, that every time they see you, you have a consistent message, that it's not like they're going to listen to one episode and you talk about something completely radically different from what you talked about on another podcast episode, another interview. It's not like you're going to do just one panel at an online summit, virtual summit, and then from that one, you're going to expect to get 100 leads. And if you don't get them, you consider it a failure. Really, it is having these opportunities compound for you for leads. And that means that you have to use those opportunities to serve the person that you're talking to maybe point them out to the problem they're having, and they're maybe haven't they're not aware of that problem yet, or maybe they know they have that problem but they don't know that there's a solution that it's possible for them. Maybe they know something is wrong but they don't know what looking or having the right situation looks like. So really, having this visibility opportunity is not only to tell your story, to talk about your POV, to talk about your services, and all of that is great, but really is showing up to serve those audiences and to show them what they didn't think was possible before. So how do you maximize every opportunity you get, and how do you even start getting those opportunities to get more leads to grow your business? Number one, you need to be comfortable with occupying spaces. You need to really be comfortable with taking up space. Really, I mean, I said I wouldn't talk about, again, beauty pageants and use beauty pageant metaphor, but here we go. A lot of those girls are showing up and are performing with huge dresses or sparkly dresses that fill up the stage. And those are stage dresses because those stages are huge. So metaphorically, you need to be comfortable with letting your personality fill out the stage. You need to be comfortable with letting your message, your expertise occupy those spaces. And I'm not talking about wearing something huge, a huge dress, a couture gown for an interview. Of course not. It's about feeling comfortable with your message, with your own uniqueness. I know it sounds a little cliche, but it's true. What makes you unique and your message different from anything they've heard? And it's different if it's coming from you, by the way. Like the way you're presenting that information is going to be different from anyone else. So just because it's coming from you, it's different. Just a little side note over there. But getting comfortable with occupying spaces means finding public speaking opportunities, being active about it. not hoping to get all those invitations, because yes, you might get them, but I've worked with huge brands. I've worked with 8-figure entrepreneurs. I've worked with brands that you probably have on your vision board. And those brands, they actually go out and seek those opportunities. They seek to become podcast guests. They seek to become speakers at conferences. They have friends who have masterminds and they pitch themselves to speak on masterminds. They put themselves on masterminds so they can connect with other entrepreneurs who are at the same stage, and they can offer their services as a guest trainer for those spaces. So really see how you can put yourself out there. I know it is uncomfortable. And I know that a lot of times I talk to people saying, oh, I want to be invited to podcasts and I want to be invited to speak at a conference. And yes, those things can happen, absolutely. But wouldn't it be amazing to just share your brilliance and your excitement to share with the people that you feel like would be a great fit? I had a podcast coach that she said that the first time she did podcast pitching, she set the goal of being on a podcast, like one podcast a week. And at the end of that year, she was on 52 podcasts. So I don't know if they all happened literally one a week, but she was able to be interviewed by 52 podcasts. That's 52 sets of audiences. You can do the same if you look for speaking opportunities at your local chamber of commerce. I think that's a great one, especially as an entrepreneur who already has expertise, who already has a message. That's a great way because you can offer your services if you want for free, like your speaking services for free, and start impacting communities. You can do the same with local business communities, local business organizations. You can even do that with high school programs if they have entrepreneurship programs. Make a list of all the different options. You're going to get really excited because you're going to realize that there's a lot that you didn't even consider. So some of my specific and favorite ideas to get those opportunities. First is podcast guesting. I think podcast guesting is wonderful because you can really connect with people. A lot of podcasters, I would say the best of them, they really care more about what you have to say than about your following or how much money you've made. And, I've been a podcast producer for different podcasts, and they care about what their guests bring to the table. They care that their message doesn't sound like everyone else. Of course, depending on the podcast, they want to see that the guest has been able to be successful through a specific method. Yes, absolutely. But when you receive so many pitches from so many guests that tell you, I made X amount of money, or I believe in women empowerment, or I believe in healthy living, and very, very generic statements, they don't want to see that. And I have seen them get people on their podcast who didn't necessarily have a huge audience. A couple of them didn't even have Instagram, or they weren't even creating content at all. And that's because of what they have to say. They have such a potent message. They have such a potent framework. They're so comfortable with what they have to say that is interesting. That's magnetic for podcast hosts and podcast production teams. So don't be afraid to pitch yourself to be a guest on podcast. Also, find local events. As I mentioned, find your local chamber of commerce, local business organizations, go on Meetup and find business meetings that are happening, and email the organizer and say, hey, I have this business, here's my information, and here's what I bring to the table. I would love to speak to your community. And maybe they'll say no, and that's fine if they say no. We want to look for as many no's as we can. We want to collect no's. So first, we get more comfortable with just putting ourselves out there, and it doesn't matter if people don't want to hear us. But also, the more we pitch ourselves, the better we get at it, and the more chances we have of getting a yes. Also, online summits are wonderful. Online summits are really popular. I don't think they are as popular as they were probably a couple of years ago. They were at their peak, but they still work if they are a good event. Like if they're put together in the right way by the right people, they can be extremely helpful. The thing that didn't work before, and I'm going to tell you how to spot an online summit that maybe doesn't work as well, is when they don't have a clear transformation, or when it feels like all the speakers are overly pitching their services and they're not bringing anything fresh to the table. Like when it feels like overly basic or simplistic for the people you're talking to, or when it feels like just a pitch for their services. People can spot that and they don't engage with those messages as much. But if the host is having an engaged community, if they're putting effort into really getting an audience for this, and if you have an interesting pitch, again, it's all about being specific. And I have episodes on getting clear in your message and communicating your message with clarity. So definitely go check those out if you need more support, or book a brand positioning audit, because we can really talk about your messaging there. But to my point, get that dialed in so that you can go find these online summits. Maybe you won't be able, if you find something that's happening in a week, maybe you won't be able to be there, but maybe you can connect with the host and first be present at their event and say, hey, I loved it. I would love to be part of the next one. Here's my information. Here's where I see a gap. If you do that, I see so many more possibilities for success than if you just come up with a list and start just pitching people randomly. Of course, that can work. But if you take the time to connect genuinely with the organizers and support them first, I think you're going to be in a much better place to get a yes after that. Also, finding other people's programs, courses, mastermind. You can have a class that becomes a bonus if someone has a course. You can have, or you could speak at their mastermind. You could speak at their programs. There are so many people that are solving a specific problem and they need support, or rather their clients need support in these auxiliary areas. So I once joined a program, Stand Up Copy, by the way, so fantastic for copywriting, for sales. It is incredible. Shout out to Paz de Queso. She's the best. Anyways, I joined this program. It was very clear copywriting for sales. But she had a guest talk about offers. Like she talked about creating your offer ecosystem and making sure that your offers are the best they can be. She was not an expert on offer creation, but she knew that her people, her clients, were launching something. So they had a need to make the offer the best it could be. So she was helping them with a copy, and she had a guest trainer speak on offer creation. She also had one speak on content creation, because again, she was more on the copy and sales pages and emails. That was her focus. And she had a guest speak on content, so using your messaging for content. So don't be shy. Don't be shy with this. I know you see so many successful people and incredible programs, and you may be thinking, do they even have a space for me? Or maybe you're a little shy in approaching someone new. But trust me, if your solution, if your message really serves their audience, they're going to be happy. So happy to have you on. And of course, you can charge for it. And I do recommend that if this is a long-term strategy for you, you definitely get paid. But if you are getting your feet wet in speaking and getting visibility, like if that's the strategy, I would say do it for free. Do it for free because first, you need the exposure. That's why we're doing this. But second of all, and this is like the most important, you need to practice your message. When you are going for all this visibility, you need to get comfortable with saying your message. I have I'm promoting my brand positioning audit in every single episode, and I don't do a recorded spot. Like I record my promos for every single episode individually. I could have a pre-recorded promo. I have like 5 scripts, quote unquote, that I could use or that I use. Like that's my foundation. But I record everything new because I need to get super comfortable talking about this. And maybe at some point, maybe in a few years, I'll make a pre-recorded spot, but I don't think I will because I want it to be relevant, not only to my audience, to the moment they're going through, but even to the episode we're discussing, to the moment of the year we're talking about. I just love having all these promo moments recorded live. So get comfortable with speaking, get comfortable with occupying spaces. And this is going to be a short point. It's going to sound obvious, but a lot of people don't do it. And that is give people a path to connect with you. You join your email list, like actually become a lead. If we want to use visibility to get leads, first part, get visible. We talked about it. Checked. You're already moving. Part 2 is let them actually become a lead. A lot of people just go out, do all this effort, and then they are not giving someone a path to connect with you, a next step. If you have a podcast, that is a great next step. You can have a lead magnet. Some summits will not allow it, same as some guest speakers won't. So that's why I like that you like to have a platform that they can go join you. It could be a podcast, it could be your Instagram. It's more of a soft pitch if they want to connect with you further, but have those spaces. I love a free sample. That's also something that you could offer depending on the type of space you have. But the concept of free sample is when you go and you're in the grocery store and you're walking down the aisles, they give you sometimes free samples and you get to try something when it's something new and you decide if you like it. So maybe you can offer a free consultation. If that's something that makes sense to you, you can give them a free consultation and then talk to them about your services. That doesn't make sense to everyone, but maybe the free sample is, as I said, the lead magnet. Maybe you have a pre-recorded workshop. Again, it's going to depend on the type of event you're at, the type of space. Not everyone's going to allow it, but get creative on, or not even too creative, but get consistent on, okay, after I'm done, I want to invite people to talk to me. I see a lot of speakers have a little QR code at the end of their presentation to invite people to talk to them. I see a lot of people at the top of their presentations say, feel free to take a picture or a video and post it on stories. I would love to shout you out and share your stories, your favorite takeaway. That's a way of having people connect with you because, of course, they mention you on their stories. You can message them back. There's a connection built there. So I want you to get very creative, getting those visibility opportunities. Repetition is key if you want to get those leads for the coming months. And if you have any question, if you have any doubts, if you have a couple of ideas, you don't know what to do first, but you are sure that you want to get more visible to get more leads, please book a brand positioning audit. That is going to be your next best step after this episode because we can get a lot done in an hour. And then after the hour, you do get an actual plan of action and an actual report. It's very comprehensive. My clients are getting incredible results, and I do want to see you be part of that group. So book your audit at eugeniawu.com/brand. That's eugenia.com/brand. And in the meantime, stay consistent, stay repetitive. I believe in you. I believe you have an important message to share that the world needs to hear. I see you back soon in the next episode. Un beso.
I hope you loved today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and send it to someone who's ready to be seen as the go-to in their industry? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. I love reading your comments. They remind me of those little notes you would send your friends in high school, you know? Okay, see you back here soon with the next episode. Un beso.